The U.S. Marine Corps has decided to ban its entire fleet of tracked amphibious assault vehicles, or AAV, from taking part in regularly scheduled deployments or entering the water for any reason except to support emergency crisis response operations. This comes more than a year after an AAV sank during a training exercise, killing 8 Marines and a U.S. Navy sailor, an accident that was attributed to a slew of maintenance, training, and leadership failures. The Corps is already working toward replacing its aging AAVs with new 8x8 wheeled Amphibious Combat Vehicles, or ACVs, but is also in process of scaling back its heavy vehicle capabilities. The Marine Corps stands by the efficacy of the recommendations that came from the multiple investigations into the AAV mishap from the summer of 2020, and with those recommendations implemented and sustained. The Commandant of the Marine Corps has decided the AAV will no longer serve as part of regularly scheduled deployments or train in the water during military exercises. AAVs will only return to operating in the water if needed for crisis response. This is a reversal of a decision the Marines made in April to allow AAVs across the service to return to the water after certain inspections of the vehicles were completed and after amphibious vehicle units went through new certification processes. Certain units had already begun doing so before then, after meeting the specified requirements, in order to meet scheduled operational and training demands. The Marine Corps is adamant that this policy change will not end AAV operations for good. AAVs could even still take part in amphibious operations, albeit in the ironic position of having to use landing craft air cushion, LCAC, hovercrafts, and other landing craft to get from ships to shore like any other vehicle. Certain ships might also be able to unload them directly ashore using established or temporary port facilities. No matter what, this can only represent a significant loss of amphibious assault capability of the Marine Corps, at least in the near term. At the same time, the final fate of service's AAVs has appeared to be increasingly in limbo in recent years. In 2018, the Marines announced that they had selected a version of the Super ACV 8x8 wheeled light armored vehicle, which had been proposed by a team-up of UK-headquartered defense contractor BAE Systems, as the winner of the Amphibious Combat Vehicle (ACV) program and the intended replacement for its AAVs. The ACV program was a follow-on to the Abortive Expeditionary Fighting Vehicle (EFV) effort, which has resulted in the development of a complex high-speed tracked amphibious vehicle design, but that was cancelled in 2012 due to ballooning costs. The ACV is smaller, slower on the water, and has less troop carrying capacity than the AAV, but is faster on land and has been touted as being easier to operate and maintain. Its remote weapon station can accommodate a .50 caliber M2 machine gun or a 40mm Mk19 automatic grenade launcher, but not both, as is the case with the AAV's current turret. Even with all this in mind, it very much remains to be seen how the Marine Corps' new rules regarding the use of AAVs will ultimately impact its operations. The service's Force Design 2030 initiative, which it unveiled last year, significantly de-emphasizes the importance of traditional armored vehicles, amphibious or otherwise. As part of this force structure plan, the Corps will have divested its entire fleet of M1 Abrams tanks and other heavy armored vehicles by 2023. It has also cut its planned purchases of ACVs roughly in half, down to 632 examples from the original expected fleet size of 1,122 vehicles. It's unclear how many ACVs the Marines have received so far, but the service was expected to have taken delivery of around 76 of them by the end of this year. Another 80 are set to arrive each year going forward. These are just some of the dramatic changes the Marines are making as the service remodels itself to be better suited for new expeditionary and distributed concepts of operations, known collectively as Expeditionary Advanced Base Operations, EABO. EABO is centered on the idea of employing smaller, more mobile, and highly flexible groups of Marines to rapidly establish temporary forward bases in remote and austere locations, while also retaining the ability to readily redeploy to new areas.